Joanne, you have to.
Okay.
Yeah, the penalty box.
It's really a good spot.
I swear to tell you.
Very comfortable chair and you're protected from the crowds.
Okay, good.
You get a barrier from.
Mr. Mayor, meeting is yours.
Please stand for pledge, which we led by trustee Brooklyn.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, just a reminder, if it's an emergency job, go out the back door, throw your car, don't get in it. Just hang around the platform that shows up, they're gonna beat your window with an axe. To let you in. Okay, everybody else here? There's something very good. Okay. And
My turn.
your turn.
Make a motion. Request approval to authorize a property tax levy in excess of the limits established in general municipal law, section 3-C. Second, somebody.
Second.
Okay, notice is hereby given that a public hearing will be held on Monday, April 10th, 2023 at 5 p.m. in the municipal building, 14 Baker Street, Patchogue, New York, 11772 by the Village Board of the Incorporated Village of Patchogue to authorize a property tax levy in excess of the limit established in general municipal law 3-C, a copy of which proposed local law is on file at the office of the village clerk. At said public hearing, any person interested will be given the opportunity to be heard.
It's close. Just explain our reason for doing this.
Well, the reason we do it is just in case there's a mathematical error in how we calculate the tax cap calculation. We want to be safe, so that's why we do it.
So we still need an approval.
We're public, we heard.
Did we?
John, you're the only public. Okay. There's a motion, second. Seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Okay, you're up.
I'm on, okay, I'm gonna be real brief, because it's a good budget, and the increase is very light, but I'm gonna get to that in a minute. I'm gonna start by increases in our expenses coming forward. Health insurance is up 15%. Salary expenses right on line at 2.1%. It's right in line with the union contract, which was 2.0%. Landfill expenses went up about 11%. Sewer salaries are up 14%, and our total sewer costs are up about 5%. Patchogue ambulance, which is a big nut, is no increase, so that was good. On the good side, retirement expenses went down 1%. Our sludge removal went down 12.5%. And we did get a nice interest rate on our bank account, so we're up over 100% in rate increases, so that's great. Electric utilities, 20% savings so far because of our project with Johnson Controls, so we're doing well, and I expect that to be even better next year. We did take some tax relief to reduce our increase in our budget. We took $500,000, so we went down 500,000 in our surplus. Surplus is still at $4 million. We do have some vehicles which we might want to purchase if we want to do it out of surplus. It'll bring our surplus down at 3.9 million, which is very good. And that'd be like a 26% surplus, 26% of our total budget, which when we go out for our bonds, they like to see our surplus between 20 and 25% of our total budget. So we're a little bit over that, which is great. So our rate will be excellent if we need the bonds, whatever. So get to the point. Our increase over last year's budget is 1.91%, under 2%, which translates to about $35 a household increase per household in the village. That's all I got. Any questions? Joanne's here to help with any questions. You can ask me whatever you like, but I think at that rate, compared to what I see out there with other districts, school districts and other those, I think that's pretty good. We've done, and we didn't do a lot of, usually we got to massage the numbers and do this and do that. Joanne did a great job, but we really didn't have a lot to do because we're in pretty good shape financially, right, with the board.
Excellent.
Questions? That's gonna be the whole hearing. Mr. Bojack, any thoughts?
I do.
Good. How many pages?
None, one.
Okay.
I have a couple of questions.
Yeah.
But I don't think they're very long. No, Bojack ain't nonsense. People love it. 2% increase, was that what it was?
Under 1.91.
1.9, okay, I didn't hear, it. That's good, that's good news.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say at the begin with, I think it's really good that the budget, draft budget's online and the tax roll is online. These are important documents, whether people are here or not. That needs to be out there and easy for people to see. So I'm glad to see the village has moved in this direction over the last couple of years. It's good it's there. So just to start with.
John, if the 7 years that you complained that we didn't, you got it. And you're right.
Yeah, so it's good. Instead of getting a giant bulk of papers, so.
But once you're right.
Actually, I hope this is relevant. I want to talk about revenue enhancements that might come in the next budget or even this budget. For example, Brookhaven Town has got a big COVID amount, a grant of $53 million, which they're using for infrastructure. Is any of that coming to Patchogue?
We got, how much did we get? 1 point?
$1.2 million.
You did get 1.2.
Yeah, so what we're using that for is the engineering costs on the upgrades sewer plant.
Okay, good.
That's going right into infrastructure, right into the sewer plant.
Okay, so that was one question. I posted an article a couple of days ago about, I believe Patchogue Village is considered an ecologically disadvantaged community, according to the state of New York, with a funding source to be created. But
East Patchogue.
if you look at the map, it's
Yeah.
Patchogue Village.
Yeah, they described it as East Patchogue on a DC release, but I was looking at that too. Because usually we qualify for those kind of things based on what our median incomes are. But
Yeah,
there's a discrepancy there. I don't really know.
there is a discrepancy. I saw that myself. The article basically is, there's a vast amount of money from the state. So I guess it's the environmental bond, I'm not sure. And they picked a number of communities. This is the ecologically disadvantaged communities. The map shows the article says East Patchogue, but the map says Patchogue Village very clearly.
Yep.
When you zone in on the map. Anyway, it's a 35% boost for projects like sewer development, other things like that. So maybe that should be looked into.
No question, absolutely.
Right.
Yeah, 'cause I noticed the description to myself, and I spoke to the mayor about it. You know, we generally check that box on grant applications because we say we're economically disadvantaged as a
But
community.
not environmentally.
It's environmental justice.
Well,
Yes.
through
Classification.
I've sat here every year and heard of our water quality report. And I'm always proud of the fact that the places adjacent to us are way worse than we are.
Yeah.
You know, they test the water quality in the bay
So it's
and the river, and we're good.
Yeah, no, so this is the confusion with this whole thing. There are 5 key phrases that are all now melted together in these government grants, right?
Right.
This is a fair way. I don't want to steal your thunder on the rest of it, but
No.
there's economic disadvantage, there's ecologically disadvantaged, there's ecologically benefited, which is what we are based on the water quality report. But it's a social justice program.
Oh, it's a special algorithm,
Correct.
right?
Social justice program for areas which are economic. So now I'm going to combine them all too. I'm using, you know, they say in English that not to use the word, the definition of the phrase, but economically disadvantaged is areas that historically resulted in ecologically injured communities.
Right, so
That-
whatever, if we qualify, we'll get more money. That's the bottom line. So,
The bottom line is this morning, we had a press conference. And we got $10 million to sewer at least 100 more homes. in the county.
Could that be revenue in Nansen Street?
Well, you have to ask.
We gotta, well, we gotta talk to H2M.
Okay.
We'll start to have some meetings. This was very
Okay,
fresh.
good. Well, that's good news.
We're very fortunate in getting the kind of money that you're talking about.
I know.
With that, 22 million for what they're doing now, another 7.7 for the sewer plant, and another almost 12 million for the sewer plant, so. We get money differently than most people get money.
That's because we execute, we get it done. Thank you.
No, it's true that, I mean, board, yourself, the other members who work on staff are really good. at
Yes.
Getting money. I mean, it's quite true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Too bad you don't get a percentage. And my last question is about a budget line I've talked about many times before. I have an idea about it, actually, an extra idea about it, which is the fees we charge for noise licenses in the village. Which I see has actually gone down. Right? It went from $5,950 to $5,000. I don't know why it's gone down. Maybe so, you know.
Just to wrap around. So,
Yeah, I just, right, I compared it to what we're actually at. At this point, at the point where I'm making the budget, I compared to where we're at. And felt like I over budgeted a little bit. I budgeted more than we actually were going to get.
Okay, so,
That's why I changed.
so you wanna know why isn't it 10,000?
yeah, I'm gonna suggest it should be 10,000. And here's my idea, why I think it's a good idea. Maybe this works, maybe it doesn't. Police officers, foot patrol, Suffolk County on Main Street. Limited because of money, right? Correct. So that's my idea. Right, this is an area where you could raise fees. And divert that money to that project. You could raise these fees, put police officers on the street where they're needed.
Right.
Not code enforcement officers, because we all know the police officers have guns, they have arrest powers. They're more of a deterrent value, and there certainly continues to be a need for police presence, foot presence on Main Street. Do these clubs have the ability to pay a double or tripling of the fee structure? And the answer has only got to be yes. Maybe in the beginning of all of this, you set low fees to nurture these businesses, but let's look at what the reality has been over the last 5 years. The little mom and pop Blue Point Brewery sold for $25 million. They made a lot of money. The Off-Key Tiki just sold for $3.4 million. The Dublin Deck has just gone through an expansion. The owner of the village, Idiot, owns now several businesses in the village. That there is some financial capacity to these particular people to pay extra fees. And they also have the capacity to make up the money that they might spend for these fees, because all they got to do is sell. If the fee was $1,000 a month, let's just theorize that at that rate, they only have to sell 100 drinks at $10 a piece, which they'll do in the first hour the bar is open, to make up that fee. It's not, I don't think it's an undue burden, and you would divert it for a very good cause, which is more cops on the street where we need them. That's it.
Okay.
Thanks. Thank you.
Thank you.
Very motion to accept.
Motion to accept the budget.
Joe, you're about to say something, so you open your mouth. Take it, you can put my foot in it, probably. No, it's not, it's very interesting what Mr. Budget. Very interesting.
It is.
I don't know what it takes to. And you talked about it before, I've never really looked at the numbers.
Yes, I think it is a very good thought. I think we should, let's review the schedule in a holistic way, as opposed to, cherry picked way, and see what it looks like.
I think we should review all of these.
Yeah, that's what you do it holistic.
Something we really should do.
That can be done anytime throughout the year.
Right now.
Because those fees are passed by resolution now.
Yes,
Right.
That's probably.
we really should. I mean, everything else is going up, let's face it.
The only caveat on the thought process, I don't want to burden and say more, but the only caveat on the thought process is that the state has been very clear, state comptroller's office has been very clear that fees are not supposed to be revenue raising, they're supposed to be revenue offset, expense offsetting. So you can't view it as, say, a percentage of the business income. Of course, that power is reserved to the state for taxation, right? They can do that for income, they, you know, do as I say, don't do as I do. But for local government, we have to analyze the expense as for what the cost is. We can't raise it exponentially based on income or success. Not that that makes it different, but we have to see what the enforcement is. Now, to your point, there are expenses to the enforcement. There was 1225 code answering, there's dispatching, there's response time, there's paperwork, there's court process. You know, so there is something to go into it, but I think it should go into an overall review with that in the back of your head, that it has to be an expense offset and not a revenue item. I think that there certainly is room there.
If we can use the money for something good, like getting some more police, you know, real police on the street. I think it's worth it. Well, let's face it, the governor would rather us not have a big surplus anyway, so we really can't go by what they want us to do. Plain and simple.
Okay. Motion,
Make a motion to accept the budget.
second. Any other questions, any concern by the board?
No
Okay.
questions or concerns, but I'd really like to thank Ron, Joanne, absolutely amazing job that they've done.
Joanne did a great job.
Thank you,
I
Joanne.
was in Florida.
Thank
That's okay, you were only a phone call away.
I will, but thank you so much.
I'll second that.
Okay.
I mean, you know,
All in favor?
Hi.
Okay, but really, thank you very much, Joe.
Yes,
you know, it's a bunch of big numbers in the end, but every single line in there gets input and discussion.
absolutely.
Motion to
Sure.
adjourn this and then. Yep.
Motion to adjourn.